Our pleasure to welcome Ben Bywater to the Wise Guys. He's on the mend from shoulder surgery back in November, getting ready for his final season at BYU, one of the great personalities on the roster, and we've had a chance to call his games and get to know him for some time. Welcome to the Wise Guys. Pull that thing right under your chin, and we're good to go.
Right here.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
How are you feeling? Let's start with the number one question that fans might have if they could get 5 minutes with you. How's your shoulder?
It's good. It's good. We went under the knife in November, so took my sling off, and I've just been rehabbing, but it's been good.
Can you lift yet? Like heavy?
No, yeah. So like the timeline usually is, right, so you get the surgery, you're in a sling for about 4 to 6 weeks, and then for the next 6 weeks, you're just taking it light, right? You're
range of motion. Yeah.
Kind of isometrics. So you're trying to get some blood flow and recovery, but you're not like cranking the weights. So
yeah,
I've just been doing that.
Is that hard for you? Because like I know you well enough to know you love to be in the weight room, right? You love it. You get a lot of work done there. You're big, strong dude because of it. Does it just drive you nuts when you can't get in there and go after it the way you want to?
And you know, your boy's got body dysmorphia for sure. So, you know, I look in the mirror, I'm like, you know, it's not looking the same as it used to. But yeah, it's tough because like you can go do some like squats, some single legs, some like one arm stuff. But like your nervous system is, I just feel like for me, right, like no matter how much I do, right, until you're back in the full swing, sprinting, squatting, cleaning, like you're just a little step behind. So
at what point in the Kansas game did you get hurt?
It was like end of third quarter.
Just on a routine hit or what?
Weird. Yeah. So like the funny thing is the week prior, we were playing Arkansas, I kind of slipped off a tackle and my shoulder like jolted and I heard it, like it kind of slipped out of place. And so, you know, I've done this unfortunately a few times. And so when it happened, I was like, okay, that's not right. So I got a little brace, you know, through the week. I was trying to keep it hush just because I didn't want on my, injury record. So, and then all of a sudden, bang, it just popped, like hit the guy and
you knew right away?
Exploded. It just felt like a 50 cal right to my shoulder, which
really?
Like, I've heard this other one too. Yeah. It just was different. It's just, and so I was, obviously your first initial thought is, hey, I'm going to go thug it out, play the rest of the year. But, we just, after a lot of hard conversations, it was just, I really couldn't even move the arm.
So do you have bionic shoulders now? Because both have been repaired?
You've had both done, right?
I've had both done. My surgeon's like, hey, I think it's genetic. Like, you got really limber. You know, after I came out of surgery, he's like,
say, thanks,
so they were loose
Dad.
to begin with. So here's the question. They say, but don't worry, I tightened it all. Everything's tightened up, and you should be good to go now.
Should be good to go. So.
Yeah, and that's good. Now, so what impact did this injury have? Because let's go back and remind everybody, you led this team in tackles, every year for the previous 2 years. I have no question in my mind you lead the team in tackles last year again.
Appreciate that.
First of all, because you're just a tackling machine. Second of all, this new defense lends itself to the position you play, just funneling people to you.
Yeah.
Like I would have been surprised you didn't have 110, 115, 120 tackles this last year, right? Yeah. Which would have launched you into the NFL. So this injury, how did that affect the whole decision process to come back and to do all of that?
Yeah, I mean, so obviously, like, I felt like I was teed up, right? Going into the season, it was like everything I dreamed of, right? I'm getting some love from the NFL, just some scouts, right?
You're playing in a big league.
Stuff, right? I'm playing in a big league. I got Jay Hill coming in, like just a heavy hitter, a guy bringing energy. I'm excited. I'm stoked. So when it happened, I was obviously so bummed, but, for some reason, not to sound corny, I just felt peace. I was like, you know what? Like, God does have a plan for me. He does. Like, I can sit there and cry about it. And I've shed my tears for sure, but keep crying about it, still reminiscing at what could have been, what should have been, it's not helping me. So, the injury happened and obviously I went on a mission, right? And that was my 4th, 5th year. So I'm getting older, what I'm saying? And playing backer, right? Like you always hear that stigma, hey, you're getting older, like your draft stock declines and whatnot. So I was like, hey dude, like I needed to go. Like I needed to go. It was now or never for me. And so what happened was, though, there was just a little bit more complication on my shoulder. I couldn't get surgery right away. All the surgeons were like, hey, dude, like you
need to prehab first. Like you need to get some things the way they need to be before we go in there.
Exactly. They didn't want to they wanted to mitigate the risk. Forgive me. They wanted to mitigate the risk in my shoulder. So it was weird, and I didn't get surgery. So I got injured in September and I didn't get surgery till late November.
And that wasn't going to have you ready for the combine.
Wasn't going to be ready for the combine. And my surgeon was just like, dude, if if I don't go in, if we don't fix this, like you're going to show up to the combine or pro day and not even be able to lift your shoulder, and you're for sure not going to get a shot, right? So
it needs to be fixed, but it's not going to be ready for the combine, which means, gosh, I'm not going to be able to improve my stock and show these guys that I'm healthy.
Yeah.
So the best thing that I can do is come back and have 120 tackles
Exactly.
and stay healthy.
Exactly.
And then launch myself into the league, right?
Yeah. So that was the game plan. It was like, yeah, you could like maybe just go, right? Hey, I have enough film. I've played 2 years, led the team tackles. So I have film, right? But they wanted to see me in this new defense. That was talking to Jay, right? Because the NFL plays that, one man, one gap, right?
Yes.
That kind of man coverage. You got to fill your A, whatever. What we played this year, right? Which was cool. So I didn't have a whole bunch of film in that defense. And so for me, it was just, hey, the smartest thing to do was be healthy, kind of go out on your own terms and go take a real shot, So.
You didn't get married while all this was going on, right?
I tried there,
So
Brian.
because I have like this is honestly good. I have like 10 girls that tell me the whole reason you got hurt and have to come back is so that you can meet them so you can get married before you go.
Hey, that is, let's manifest that.
Okay.
Listen, we've had Chase Roberts on the show. We can help out the best we can.
I have several that have asked me about Ben, and I always talk to Gavin first, and he's like, "Oh, I 100% recommend Ben."
Yeah, I love Gavin. That's
BYU linebacker Ben Bywater's on the Wise Guys tonight, live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and ysguys.com. We're all over the world, as we always are on Monday nights. Used to be on Tuesdays.
Yeah, has Panama and the Philippines, Singapore all checked in tonight, I hope.
Bywater led the Cougars in tackles, as mentioned, in 21 and 22, preparing to lead the defense here in 24. What feedback... Now, we just heard your plan. What feedback have you gotten from scouts, from the NFL scouts, on your to-do list for this fall? We know your doctor's list and your list, but those guys that are looking for linebackers, what do they want to see specifically from you?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I always ask that. Whoever talking to them, I'm like, hey, how can I just improve my chances? Number one, obviously, they want to see you downhill, right? Like you can never be too physical, and so I got something I got to work on too. Like before, it was, hey, we're just making tackles, so. Definitely play on their side of the line of scrimmage. And 2 is just run into the ball. That's a big goal of mine, is just run into the ball. And I think a lot of that too is run into the ball. Like when you're in the midseason and you're playing games, like it's hard on the body, sprinting across the field, you're big, you're banged up. So for me, it's just preparation now, get my body extremely right, extremely healthy, so that when it's game time, when it's time to go, I am, hustling, chasing the ball down, running to the ball across the field.
Yeah, because if you're not, Jay's going to have you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got his own
standard,
right?
And for spring ball, I would imagine, based on what you've told us, won't be cleared for full contact in spring ball, right?
No, sir.
But this is enough time to rehab and get yourself looking like Hercules, like you usually look, right? You should be ready to go full go by August, right?
Yes, sir. That's the game plan.
Good deal.
Absolutely.
Good deal.
Early recruiting class was all about the defense, some reinforcements coming in, plus you've got anchors like Tyler Batty, Jacob Robinson, Talon Alfrey, yourself. What are your expectations for this second go-round defensively in the Big 12?
I'm extremely excited. Working out the Kings is going to be huge for us. And it's the standard has been set. I think this past year we got our feet wet. So I love what Coach Hill's done. I love the D staff, and for me, it irks me that I wasn't able to get a full season under my belt with these guys. So really just excited to get back to work. It's hard when you're got one arm, you're trying to be in there and rally the troops and whatnot. But as soon as we get in, I'm excited. I'm excited just for all the boys to go make plays too. That's really what it is and what it's about.
For your skill set, just your natural skill set and what you like to do on defense, is this defensive scheme that Jay's brought in, is this a better fit for you? Do you feel like this can highlight your skills better?
Absolutely. I love playing that MAC position. It's definitely different because I was used to playing the rover, which is like the boundaries, more of an outside backer. They're really tit for tat in this new defense, but it's different. That MAC, they put a lot on your shoulders, and so you really got to come to play. You got to know what you're doing. You got to be able to command. And what's nice though is you're either blitzing, you're dropping back, like you're never just kind of hanging stagnant. So
Dave and I were talking. We kind of went through the early signing class and stocked up a lot on defense. They got some monsters up front, and I know that from your perspective, if you have dudes that require a double team every time off the ball, that frees you up to run to the ball. Were you as excited as we were when we saw some of these D linemen that they picked up?
Absolutely. The bigger those guys are, just the better it is for me. So I live with my roommate's John Nelson, and he kind of plays that 3 tech. So I'm like, hey, baby, like just let's go out to dinner. You know what I'm saying? Just hey, put on a few more LVs.
And John missed some time.
Yeah, he did.
And he was really one of our best inside guys. He can play inside and outside.
Yeah.
People don't recognize because he just kind of quietly gets it done. How much when he was out, BYU missed him up front.
He's a workhorse.
Yeah.
I love that kid. I mean, he really works hard. You know, he just doesn't talk too much. I mean, well, I know him really well, so obviously, like with me, but understood. Like he's just a good dude, down to earth, and just gets the job done.
As you stood on the sideline and studied the rest of the Big 12 after that Kansas game, and you watched West Virginia kind of run freely, and Iowa State came and really surprised everyone by what they did. Was the Big 12 more difficult than you thought it was going to be as a unit? And is that the marching order to get back for round 2? Was just the physicality of it all, or what did you pick up?
I think, no, that's a great question. I think for what I saw personally was, like, you can't, if you're playing these big games week in, week out, like, you can't kill yourself. Like, you have to come to play. I feel like there's a few games, you know, that we could have won. Obviously, I think everybody knows that. It's like, dude, with these big boys, like, they're not going to give it to you. So it's like, for us, that extra level of discipline, locking in, like you can't, you got to come to play Saturdays.
It's kind of what we're seeing with basketball.
Yeah.
You got to play 2 halves.
Have to.
Yeah, and every night is a challenge, right? So, hey, BYU linebacker Ben Bywater's on with the Wise Guys tonight. Are you still 235, 6'3", 235, or are you a little under, or are you more?
I weighed in at 231 this morning.
231.
But you will be 235 to 240 for fall, right?
I had a tough winter. Your boy was putting everything in his mouth. Just, you know, so I had to slim down a little bit. We'll bulk back up.
Yeah, and Ben, by the way, from Bountiful, Utah, so he's a homegrown in-state kid.
Holiday boss.
Holiday. Why was we saying
Holiday.
The boy Maxie Tooley's from Bountiful.
Oh, that's right, Max.
What high school did you go to?
I went to Olympus.
Olympus.
He went to
Yeah,
Bountiful.
That's my bad, because I wrote Bountiful.
Yeah,
No sweat.
was Mark Lyons at Olympus?
Mark Lyons was, but before my time.
Before you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so
Yes,
Mark,
sir.
longtime radio
Holiday.
guy. Yeah, so Holiday, that's where my wife's family's like from. Holiday.
Really?
You know that big rock right by the freeway?
Yeah,
up
yeah, Suicide Rock?
That used to be Grandpa's Rock.
Really?
He finally sold it because the liability was too much because everybody was climbing it and putting graffiti and stuff
Yeah,
on
yeah.
it. But
So Guatemala City, Guatemala.
Right.
is
sir.
your
that's where
mission.
that mission is where you went, right?
Do you still got your Spanish?
Claro que sí.
Okay, so share with us how you might introduce you and your companion to Blaine and I on the street.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. ¿Qué tal? Soy Benjamín, or soy Elder Bywater. Él es mi compañero, Blaine. Estamos aquí para compartir un mensaje.
Nice.
Probably doesn't come out how it used to, but hey, you know, I still dabble.
Did you take Spanish at BYU after?
Yeah, I just took that little. You can just take a test and then test out.
Yeah, keep doing that.
If we had a Cabo trip together, I could get us around. All right?
Okay.
I could get the boys around.
So
That's awesome.
So my son-in-law Dallas Lloyd served in down South America.
Okay.
So he's good. So we love taking him anywhere in the Caribbean or down to Mexico or wherever.
Yeah.
We have the Philippines. So we have that Tagalog covered. We got Spanish covered. We got French covered. We got German covered. We got Gavin covering Cambodian. It comes in handy.
He went
on
to
cruise
Long
ships.
Beach, spoke
He went to
Cambodian.
Long Beach, but it
Yeah.
comes in handy on cruise ships, believe it or not. And so we pretty much have it covered when we travel. But we'll take you two, and you can be our second Spanish guy.
And you got half the team that speaks a foreign language,
Yeah, it's
which
cool.
makes BYU unique.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Are the defenders out there ever shouting stuff in their mission language
No,
that no
but
one else can understand?
my voice. So Isaac Rex spoke Samoan, and so he could chirp the other dudes who spoke Samoan. But like, you're never like talking smack to the other team in a different language. Just kind of like, if you know they speak the same language, then they'll banter each other.
Back
You,
in-
you
there
want
was
them
a
to
time-
understand the smack you're talking.
Yeah,
you don't want
exactly.
to lose it.
There was a time when Brian Taylor, Elder Taylor now, and Michael Smith, and in fact, I think it was the time when Jeff Chapman was playing. Jeff's come on the show. It's like 4 of the starting 5 served missions, Spanish-speaking missions, and they would be out on the floor and they'd be speaking in Spanish to each other, and the other teams would be, looking at them like, "What the heck?" Like,
We had an
what are these
offensive
guys
line.
saying?
We had an offensive line a couple years ago where all 5 of them had a different language.
Yeah, different language.
And down there in the trenches, every now and then, that say stuff, which is good. We're waiting on the Big 12 schedule. We expect the BYU-Utah game to be Thanksgiving weekend. How excited are you to get another shot at the rivalry game?
I'm excited. Like, there's so much energy in that game, especially when I played in 2021. Yeah. So it'll be. I've always kind of.
What's your record against them right now?
From what I played, 1-0.
1-0. Ben's 1-0. Ben has never lost to the Utes. Let it be written.
When you step on the field against the Utes and with the portal and all that stuff, I mean, half the kids aren't even from here anymore. But there's still something about the red against the blue and the north and the south. And what's that like for a player?
It's so fun, man. Like, that was the game in 2021 was awesome. But like, I've been on both sides of it. I've been a fan, right? Growing up, like, there's so much anxiety involved. I swear, like, you can't even sleep the night before. So I know exactly how it is for the fans. But as a player, like, just business. You know what I'm saying? Go out there, get what, just prepare. Don't blow it up. Don't make it something bigger than it is. For me, obviously, play with passion. Go out there, do your job, execute, lay the wood. But other than that, like, it's just a cool experience.
And we know it's going to be a road game. How motivating will it be to go up there and do what you did in 21, but in front of their audience?
So motivating. That's like something you dream of. Like, I always kind of dreamed of playing up at Rice Eccles. So it'll be cool.
That's good stuff. Yeah. You when you came in, you're sitting over. We called that the green room. Even though, what color is that carpet?
Like brown.
It's brown.
So, well, it's the brown room. And entertainment, the place where the guests wait is called the green room, so we call it the green room over there. But you heard us talking about Fred and Kyle Van Noy and Sione and these guys. How important is it to the program, to players like you who are in the program and players that are deciding whether or not they're coming to the program, to have guys like Fred in the league and know that that's a pathway that you can get to from here?
Yeah, no, Fred's so inspiring to all of us. I think you see a guy like that perform at such a high level. It's so cool, right? Like, I remember even like you guys were talking about Kyle Van Noy as well. Like, when I was kind of in like junior high, like Kyle was like my idol, right? And I got to high school, Fred was my idol. You know what I'm saying? And Sione, I saw a little bit, but I was kind of on my mission for Sione balling. But like, those guys really, they just paved the way. They're so cool. I love seeing that. Love supporting it. And so like, what's cool though is like, I feel like we have so many dudes in the league that are balling right now. Like, I used to live with Zane Anderson, made a huge tackle. Like, it's a hard tackle he made on Kavonte Turpin in the open field. Like, I saw that. Like, we watched it live. Everybody was jumping. It was so exciting. So I really feel like, I'm proud of everybody in the league. Tyler, Puka.
And Puka's killing it.
So cool.
And Tyler's killing. I mean, Puka's killing it. Like, Fred's. Yeah. It's hard to know who's having more of an impact and who's more visible right now, because Fred literally is maybe the best defender in the whole league.
Absolutely.
And Puka's the greatest rookie receiver in the history of the game.
So cool.
I can't even believe I can say that about him.
It's wild.
So does that, and you played with him.
Did you ever take a couple of pops at him coming across the middle in practice, Puka?
Nah, those royalty. Just don't touch Puka. Everybody stay away from Puka, me too. I'm like, I want to win games, all right? Everybody stay away from Puka.
Wise man.
Puka.
Wise man.
Did you have any idea, because you were over on the other side watching him do his thing, that he could be this good in the NFL?
Yeah, absolutely. And Puka's got, like, I'm so happy because Puka's the best dude. Like nobody is more deserving of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's such a good guy. Like, I'm just, all his success he deserves. But yeah, like, talk about a guy that just big, strong, fast, gets out the gate. Like, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Well, look, awesome. we saw, just to play off what Blaine asked you, because we saw Keaton Slovis come in because he saw Jaron Hall go in the league, and he saw Zach Wilson before him go in the league. And then there's this path of linebackers going to the league. Dax Milne gets in the league. Puka's in the league. So the receivers are there, with the running backs are,
Yeah, we got Tyler and Jamal.
And then Taysom's playing 5 positions.
Taysom's the biggest freak in the whole league.
But with a guy ready to get a job, to see those three, especially Sione and Fred and Kyle, on TV and the highlight reels every weekend. So when all of a sudden you're a BYU linebacker, it's different.
Yeah.
As opposed to, what, you guys have linebackers out there?
Yeah.
And so I would imagine those guys are pioneers and paving a way for you.
Absolutely. You see, like, obviously, what they're doing is inspiring, but it's like, hey, they're goal touching, they're doing it. Like, why not me? Why not? Like, let's shoot for the moon. Absolutely, go for it. Yeah, absolutely. So
when you have to think scouts are going, yeah, this is the place that produced these guys.
Yeah.
Let's see who they have this year, right? And that's something. And when you come to BYU, you know that you're going to have the attention of NFL scouts because there's already guys in the league that have come through the program.
Yeah, and especially like those guys giving a good rep about BYU in the league, like Danny Sorensen, like those guys just get work done, go do their job, do their thing, like, and it helps the rest of us, right? And so,
and outside the echo chamber says, "Hey, don't forget my boy Blake and the O lineman."
Oh, my boy,
be free,
baby,
Brady
be free.
and Blake, like, hey. It was 3 offensive linemen drafted 3 years in a row.
There's going to be another one this spring.
Yep.
You know,
so yeah, it's pretty cool.
A couple more questions with Ben Bywater, and then we'll get him out on the rest of his Monday night here on the Wise Guys. How valuable have you seen the Royal Blue Collective, both with you personally and with the team, as the world's adapted to NIL? How valuable are they to guys like you?
Love the Royal Blue. Men, you got Mark Homer. Those guys literally take care of us. Those guys are the bread and butter. So if you guys are watching this, love you both. I appreciate you guys. And I'm so grateful those guys stepped in and put systems in place and really got the ball rolling. So
Mark's been on the show a few times, and they laid out how they do it, and it's not a free bag of money. It's this for this.
Absolutely.
And part of that is public appearances and trying to be a rock star around town, which shouldn't
be that hard to do, right?
What you got going on, but for what they do you have any sponsors you want to pitch?
Yeah, do you have some companies that you're affiliated with in NIL right now?
So I did a deal with Intermountain Healthcare, which was awesome. Those guys have taken care of me on all my surgeries, so really grateful for that. But other than that, I'm doing that little podcast with Crew, which is fun. We love Laced Up, so it's been fun. But yeah, if any Tom Ford, Givenchy, all those, Gucci, whatever you guys want to sponsor me, absolutely, I'm here, I'm ready, I'm willing and able.
You can pitch for NIL stuff also on this program.
That's right. You can talk about what you have, and you can talk about what you would like to have.
Yeah. All right, let's do 5 questions and get Ben Bywater out of here.
We always do 5 questions. These are the ones we ask you just to answer. Okay. And remember, choose wisely because of these 10 girls, they're listening to this show today.
I'm locked in.
And we're writing this down.
And I've got one in particular that, like, she's a great athlete. Like, I see her at the gym. She's a great athlete. I'm like, oh, my gosh. Like, if she marries Ben, I'm recruiting their kids before they have them. they would rival Bronson and Hillary Kafusi's kids.
Let's just try to get them on a date.
Yes,
first.
we got to do that. We're on it.
Love it. Appreciate you, boys.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Favorite sports movie?
Favorite sports movie, Forever Strong.
Oh,
what's that about?
That's the rugby movie about Highland High School.
Highland High School rugby.
Yeah, it's a good one.
National champs, right?
Yeah, it's a good one.
That is a good one. And nobody has chosen that one.
Of all the guys in a year and a half, not one.
Really?
So,
but he's hanging with
Forever
one of the Salt Lake City high schools. That's a great story. I had completely forgotten about that. I need to watch that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one. As you might imagine, Remember the Titans is kind of been the number one. But our basketball guys all come in with Hoosiers. So, your favorite singer or band?
Favorite singer is a guy named Mike. Just Mike. Period. Looking him up.
Just Mike?
What do you mean? The guy's name's Mike?
Yeah, it's Mike, period. But it's like good lifestyle music.
Mike, period?
Yeah.
Is it like spelled out period or Mike with a dot?
Mike with a dot.
With the dot. So if I go to YouTube and go Mike with a dot, some stuff's going to come up.
Some, like, I told them about the Moss band the other night. Have you ever heard of the Moss?
The Moss.
It's a brand new local band. I think they're the next Imagine Dragons.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, and they're here local.
Okay, cool.
And so I'm like, hey, everybody, I just saw this band. I'm telling you right now. And so you're telling us, dude, so the Moss we told you about. Now the other new band is Mike.
Is Mike.
Period.
I got a funny story, actually. So when I was like in 7th grade, Imagine Dragons was downtown in like some little tiny venue in Salt Lake. Yeah. But the opener was a kid who went to my high school who was a few years older than me. He opened for Imagine Dragons. This is like 2012, right? 2013. Okay. So we go. I'm just going to support this dude. I'm with my sister. I had class. It was like a Tuesday night. I had class the next day. I'm all grumpy. I'm mad because it's getting late and I have stuff to like turn in. So we leave before Imagine Dragons comes out, and like literally 2 months later they blow up. They're worldwide. I'm like,
it was right there.
Hey, patience is a virtue.
The Imagine Dragons, Neon Trees. We've had a couple of the members of Neon Trees on. There have been some big bands that kind of found themselves here in Provo. The Killers have some ties here. We've had some interactions with Dan Reynolds from Imagine Dragons over the years.
It'd be great if AC/DC had a tie to Provo.
Yeah, because that's his band. AC/DC's his. That's his. So Mike, period. I can't wait to check that one out.
Now, look, if we ask you like 8 months from now who your favorite band is, you say Steve, period, we're going to know that there is no Mike, period.
No, I'm looking him up.
Names.
I'm looking up Mike.
We're looking that up.
Yeah. All right. Our people in the chat, you guys can Google Mike, period. Tell us if it's any good. So, okay, here we go. Favorite breakfast cereal?
Favorite breakfast cereal would have to be Crave.
What is Crave?
Crave with a K.
Crave. That's got like.
There we go. You know what I'm talking
some
about.
Crave fans in it. What's it
You
got?
don't like it? Oh,
It's
man.
got like
It's not
marshmallows
good?
and stuff. Or what?
It's just got like chocolate on the inside. It's like a
Why is it
little
a
Kit Kat
chocolate?
vibe.
See, I can respect that.
Like a
I
Kit
thought you were going to
Kat
say,
vibe.
well, it's granola and berries.
We've
So
learned a
like,
lot
come
about Ben Bywater tonight.
Crave. It's
Crave.
got, hey, just all I know about Crave is it's got chocolate in it. That's all I need to know.
Okay.
Your favorite defensive touchdown?
Would have to be for sure mine versus SMU, the little pick six.
Oh,
It's not a little pick six. It's a 76-yard pick six.
Yeah, and that
There
was,
we
in,
go.
that was
Game changer.
in a bowl
Appreciate
game.
that.
So we all remember it. So you catch it, and were you thinking you were gone, or were you thinking the other 11 guys are going to catch you before you get down the field?
No, I was just like trying to like push. I'm trying to just run as fast as I can, and all of a sudden like he dives. I kind of jump over him. I'm like, no freaking way! Like I'm about to hit him. So, like, I'm like, no
I'm
way.
doing this,
Yeah.
and I didn't pull a hamstring.
So you get down there, you cross the goal line. Are you exhausted, or are you just, can you believe you got there, or what's
No,
the
yeah.
feeling?
Adrenaline's pumping so hard. I was so excited, just hanging out.
I don't worry about backers and DB. I worry when a D lineman gets like a tipped one and they're running like he's gonna pull a hamstring. He's got to slow down. Pass it off to somebody. Help this guy.
Did you have any defensive touchdowns at Olympus, or is this number one?
I didn't.
So this is it?
Yeah, this is it.
Okay, so a couple this year. Or
Couple this year to add to
Yeah, we
that.
got to run it back. this year.
110 plus tackles and a couple of pick sixes.
If you're ever going to just have one, have it be in a bowl game so
Yes.
your kids can see it for years to come.
Except for this year, it'll be in New Year's Six Bowl.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
favorite. Last question.
Yeah.
Favorite thing about Kalani Sitake.
My favorite thing about Kalani Sitake is his personal relationship with me. I really feel like every time I go into his office, he knows what's going on in my life. He relates to me. He tells me about stories about his life. And so man, some of those moments have been the most special moments for me. So I'm grateful for him.
Yep, that's awesome.
Ben Bywater, we will see you at spring practice standing next to us.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But full
You
go
can
in
break it down
August.
for us when we come.
And the season starts in August, so it's got to be, Southern Illinois. You'll be on the field.
Yeah, we're locked and loaded that game. So,
Okay, all right.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you for coming.
Appreciate you.
deal.
Appreciate
Ben
you.
Bywater,
Thank
BYU
you.
linebacker, and again,
and we've been joking with
one
him,
of the
but
best personalities on the team.
We've been joking with Byam. I'm going to find him the best one.
Yeah, we're going to follow up
All
on
it takes
that.
is one, people. All it takes
All it
is
takes is
one.
one.
There we go.
All right.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Ben.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Ben.